We hope you packed light and brought snacks. It's time for a narrowboat adventure on the historic English canals. We're Wendy and Laurence, and we would love your company as we navigate the famous Oxford Canal in a 57-foot narrowboat. If you love narrowboats, stick around for a fun cruise. There are definitely questions coming your way.
We are discovering that although there's a lot of free moorings, that not all are inhabitable.
If you're new to the English canals, or if you've never heard about a narrowboat, join us as we learn about them both together.
Our issue on this trip has been that everything seems to have taken us 3 times as long.
But we should let you know, we've never seen a narrowboat in person or traveled on an English canal before. Add to all this, the trip is about a life-changing secret. More about that later.
Should we tell our big secret now?
Sure.
So join us as we tackle the incredible Oxford Canal and cruise through some beautiful English countryside. Struggle through historic locks. Sometimes we do well, other times not so much. And we definitely fall in love with the canal community. About those English canals, there are over 2,000 miles of navigable canals in England, many of which are nearly 300 years old. We've decided to cruise the Oxford Canal, starting our journey at what could be considered the start of the canal, the celebrated city of Oxford. And we're picking up the 57-foot narrowboat from College Cruisers, a family-owned business. Consider this as the first of many upcoming twists in this story. We're not necessarily starting this part from the beginning.
We picked up the narrowboat yesterday. Basically downtown Oxford is where College Cruisers are located, who we rented the boat from. And they walked us through. It was awesome. Michael
was very patient.
Very patient. Took us through the same lock twice, just showed us some neat tricks and stuff like that. But quite frankly, it's a 57-foot narrowboat, and we wanted to practice before we brought you guys along because, don't take this personally, but you're rather distracting. So, so we just wanted to focus on the narrowboat and learning all our skills.
This is it. It's just us, baby. This is a little scary.
Very scary.
Can't believe they're trusting us to do this.
Honestly, the biggest fear was going to be hitting stuff, although those in the narrowboat community fall into 2 worlds. One, it's a contact sport, you'll never hurt anybody, it's not a big deal. And others like, seriously, just learn how to drive a narrowboat.
Well, I can't believe that we managed to make it this far. Not kidding.
Apparently I'm of the it's a contact sport.
So here's the thing about, and anyone who's driven a boat will get this, unlike a car, a boat, there's a lag behind what you tell the boat to do and what it actually does. And my wife is just getting used to that lag, where it's just finding that inflection curve of where you feel comfortable. And she's definitely on the road because she did some really good driving.
You're doing well, baby.
Wendy ended up doing the locks because she felt more comfortable doing that. She was a rock star.
Voila!
Take a bow.
Well, it wasn't comfort. As you know, practice makes perfect. So the more times that you do it, then the more natural it becomes. And I really wanted us at the beginning to concentrate on the areas of expertise. So I needed him to be very comfortable with the driving because he doesn't believe in the contact sport methodology. And I needed to be very cognizant that we were doing the locks correctly, courteously, because there is an etiquette to the way that you exit a lock. But I managed it and I got through it, and I was very proud of myself.
Our very first day on the Oxford Canal, and we've cruised under 11 bridges and navigated 4 locks to moor just north of Roundham Lock, officially lock number 42. we made the classic narrowboat decision of passing perfectly good mooring for what we thought would be better mooring. Not surprisingly, it turned out to be a frustrating call.
We slept well.
We did!
We woke up on a narrowboat, which was better than anything we could have
Fabulous.
imagined. Yes.
Mornings on the canal are incredible. So quiet, with the rising sun slowly drawing activity onto the towpaths. The general rule is to wait until 8 a.m. before you start cruising. And when that time arrives, the canal comes alive. This whole time, I've only been a few narrowboat lengths away from our rental, but it seems a lot can happen in that small distance.
Hey lady, stop messing with my boat. So tell me what happened, baby.
Well, apparently you're never allowed to leave the boat because I was trying to get dressed and a nice woman knocked on the window and said hello. And she said, oh, I'm so sorry, but your front is adrift into the water. And I went, oh, thank you very much. And I quickly got dressed and I rushed out here and found the center line and pulled the boat forward or back to shore. And that's when I noticed that both pins were gone. And yeah, so I managed to fish them out of the water. The rope and the pins were still attached, thankfully. And I just finished pounding them back in. So yeah.
Now that Wendy has saved the day, it's a short walk into Kidlington to quickly explore the small town. And while we're there, we'll grab some groceries. Just over half a mile, it's only a 15-minute walk. If you find yourself traveling north on the Oxford Canal, make sure to stop here for a larger grocery store or anything else you'll need from a town center. Besides, it's really cute.
We're doing the tradition of narrowboaters by buying our shopping and then having to carry it all the way back to the canal. See, look, here it is.
And be very careful because that is the bag with my wine in it.
Yes.
So it's of utmost importance and priority.
See, that's it. You live in a life, it's a balance. You're afraid if you mess up, but you're honored to be carrying it because it's so important. So this is really easy for us because we, like right now, we just have 2 bags of groceries, shopping. But I can't imagine if you had to do 2 weeks, 3 weeks worth of shopping in a go, carrying this all the way back to your narrowboat. That would be a lot of work. So with that said, I'll see you back at the narrowboat.
So actually, before we take off, let's do a quick walkthrough of the boat. But this is what I guess you would call the bow of the boat. And as you can see, it's a really nice place to sit, especially in the morning. And then in here, we actually hold they call it the calor gas here. It's used to heat the oven stove. And also, this is where our water hose is when we top off the water for the boat is located in here as well. So come on in. So what you're doing is you are going to see a traditional layout of a narrowboat. So you're coming into basically the living quarters, and in this case it is a couch. We put the table up, but if you take this down, this can convert into a bed. So this actually sleeps 8 people.
The boat.
In the boat.
Yeah, not the bed. Although, if you want to run one of those boats, you just go for it. There's no judgment here.
I don't know if you should put limitations like that on people, honey. They can have their own choices. Welcome to the galley. It's actually set up pretty nicely. We've got obviously our sink here. We've got the stove. So there is an additional safety mechanism that we learned on here. Not only do you have to hit the ignite button, which we're used to, but you also, when you actually turn on a burner, you have to turn it into this gas section, and you actually hold it in as you're doing it, as you're hitting the ignite button, and then that's what allows it. But anyhow, so we've got stove, we've got basically what's called a grill toaster oven situation, and then you have your proper oven, which opens differently. Then we have our very large refrigerator with a small freezer. And as you can see, it's pretty full. I was very impressed with how much we could fit in here. And then we've got lots of storage here, which I won't pull you and walk you through. So now we have on, it's a luxurious narrowboat. The first of 2 bathrooms, water closets. So what's exciting about this particular boat is it is a pump out toilet system. So there is a flusher down here. It is this black knob here. So the only thing that you do is you press it down to flush it, and then you need to make sure that it's level, otherwise the water continues to run and you only have limited water on board, so that wouldn't be a good thing to have. In the UK, they typically have towel warmers over there, so you put your towel on there, the bars heat up, and it dries and warms your towels, which is super nice in the cold weather. So this is the luxurious master suite. It is, I believe, babe, is this a double or a queen? At any rate, it's comfortable enough for both of us. All right, I am walking into our luxurious second bathroom. It is what's called a walk-through bathroom, which means that you can walk from the front to the back of the boat through the second bathroom. Okay, we're walking into the last portion, which for us is our walk-in closet. But for the party of 8, this also converts into a bed. They did set up as a single in case we had some, I don't know, unexpected guests, but it can actually go all the way across to make, I believe, another double or queen size bed.
Obviously, I'm not Wendy, but we decided to switch places as I have spent so far, but not going forward, the most time behind the tiller while we've been doing this. So this is basically the stern of the boat. Basically, the most important thing that you need up here, besides the tiller and the throttle, is this thing right here, which is your center line. And the reason this is important is because if you're ever going to jump off of the boat, this is what you're going to use to make sure it doesn't get away from you. And then over here is basically the captain's area. So you have the tiller. Now, narrowboats traditionally don't have steering wheels. They have a tiller, and the tiller is connected basically to the
Rudder
at the bottom. Thank you. You've got your throttle, which basically forward is forward, reverse is reverse. This thing hardly moves because in canal world, if you're a superstar and you're speeding along, you're 4 miles an hour. If you're going past a bunch of narrowboats like you're going to see when we start this trip, basically you're doing what's known as tick cover, which means the engine is barely engaged and you're moving along. The reason being, you don't want to create too many waves and kick people off their moorings. Below is the engine and the weed hatch, which we're not going to show you unless we really have to show you. And if we really have to show you, we're not going to be in a good mood. Just leave it at that. So this is it. This is where we basically live throughout the day. Okay. That'll do. Come on back.
That'll do, pig! That'll do, pig! You remember that?
I remember that.
The day is quickly disappearing. And it's time to start our second day of cruising the Oxford Canal. With the day already half gone, it's a short trip for us. We're heading for mooring somewhere south of Loch 41. Along the way is Thrupp, a very small village and well-known spot in the canal community where we'll stop for services. We've been told to look for Bridge 220, which will put us close to an area we want to explore.
We passed them before.
The marigold, yes we did. He's caught up with us. Hey. Oh yeah, look, I got a really tight exit here. It's where a swing bridge used to be. See if I can get through without rubbing. Place your bets, please, place your bets. Whether we get through without hitting anything. Oh, 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 oh. You're welcome. So now we're going on to what's known as the superhighway of canals. You're allowed to take your speed up to a whopping 4 miles an hour. Yes? Don't try this at home and make sure you have your safety goggles on at all times. Yeah, but you have to go through on tick-over speed, as I mentioned back there, so you don't bump and bang people's boats against the shore and to stop erosion. But quite frankly, I think people weren't following the whole tick-over thing because we got bumped a lot last night, not in a good way.
We got what?
Bumped a lot.
Oh, bumped a lot.
So Michael was right. This really opens up. Look how wide this is now. So do you want to have a go at this, baby?
I was actually thinking maybe I should.
These are big canals. Do you want me to wait till you get on the straight, or do you want to... Hang on, let me straighten you out because I'm 10 into the wall here. Okay, you got it?
Oh.
It's all yours.
Okay. So, I need to go this way. And then I need to come back. Then I need to go this way. Welcome to Thrupp, babe.
Oh, yeah, take a picture of that.
Got the Jolly Boatman.
Awesome, baby. So that was bridge 223. So the water point should be up here on the left.
The water point is in the canal-side village of Thrupp. The area is as famous for Annie's Cafe as it is the facilities for narrowboaters. What no one tells you about Thrupp is it has a sharp turn as soon as you go through a swing bridge. Add to this, there are a ton of gongoozlers sitting on the banks watching you navigate this tight turn. Surprisingly, I actually managed to do it in one go.
Okay, now. Wait, must not be the way. That must be the way. I'm like, why is water coming out the water? Why not done this very tight? I guess that's okay, because
Yeah.
it's leaking.
That'll be fine.
All right. I'm gonna go check this. Sounds like there's water going in there. And, he told us, right, that if it overflows a little, that's
It
fine.
pours right, you can see the holes on the side of the boat where it pours out.
Perfect. All right.
I did chat with a few of the gongoozlers as I cruised past them earlier. They were so nice, so I have to say goodbye.
I may come back and get you for witnesses later. Okay, so what we didn't record, and Wendy will have to be my witness on this, is we came around a sharp corner, and I'm sure it could be done better. But for our level of, this is the second day on the narrowboat, I'm pretty impressed. And unfortunately, it wasn't captured on camera because all the GoPros and everything switched off because it's too hot right now. But you'll have to take our word for it because I won't be able to reenact it. So.
You did really good, baby.
Thank you, honey.
You got, like, they were clapping. It was ovations for you.
Only because I made him feel guilty.
I mean, you had a whole line of people watching.
Yeah. So now we filled up with water and we recorded a little bit of it, but quite frankly, it's one of those new things that was the first time we've done water. We just have to focus on the matter at hand, right?
Are we level? Is our boat level again?
Yeah, so why don't you explain what you're talking about? Because that's a really good thing that not a lot of people know about unless you're in narrowboats, but if you look at, once you know this, you can't unsee it. So why don't you tell everybody that?
Oh, so as you use water and there's less water in your tank, then your boat no longer sits in the water level. In the case of our boat, the tip goes up a bit. So, or the bow. So Laurence noticed it yesterday. So we knew we had to get water. And now we're level again.
Yeah, so if you get a room full of narrowboaters, you'll know they're narrowboaters because they're all hanging out near the water. Because you spend your life going from water point to water point. Even if you don't necessarily need the water acts as a ballast, and the tank is at the bow. So consequently, the more you use your water, the more the bow goes up. And what that does is that causes the engine to go in deeper into the water. And the way canals work, it's just less efficient. It doesn't work as well. The guy who gave us our orientation, Michael, and if you ever want to rent an narrowboat, you should go to College Cruises. They're awesome. And if you're lucky enough to get Michael for your orientation, you're cooking with gas. But he was like, listen, you won't use all the water that's in this boat because it's big enough for 8 people, but you'll want it because it won't be as much fun to drive without that extra ballast. So anyway, so if you're ever watching canals and you see a narrowboat with the bow pointing up, they need water. Should we tell our big secret now?
Sure.
Why don't you come stand right here in front of me so they can see you? So the big secret is this. Go ahead and tell them, babe.
We are on an experimental voyage because we intend to retire on a narrowboat. We are hoping to do that in the next few years. And we do want to build from scratch so that we can customize. Plus we want to go electric as well. But We wanted to make sure that we could actually live on a narrowboat, and we wanted to make sure that we didn't kill each other.
Boom, there you go. We were like, sounds good on paper, and we'll go into this at a later date, but we sort of, this dream, this retirement goal started at COVID, like it has done for a lot of people that moved to narrowboats, I think. We sort of had a great idea of what it would be like, but we're like, maybe you should actually try it. Oh, hang on. I'm gonna go to the right.
Okay. We've got some
I'm gonna need you to step over there so I can see that side.
The kayakers have moved out of the way.
I see that. They're so nice. You're so sweet. Thank you. I appreciate that. This is only our second day. So thank you.
Yes, it is very nice.
Oh, huh. Oh, so that was a little bit of an adventure.
We are discovering that although there's a lot of free moorings along the way, that not all are inhabitable.
We made it to Bridge 220 on the Oxford Canal. And we were told by Michael to moor right after that. And it's really beautiful. It's got some nice curves and everything. But every time we tried to pull over, we basically got stuck on whatever, silt, or it was silt on one, I think it was a rock on another. It was just, we could not get close enough to shore. And it was a little trying. Between that and Wendy trying to jump in between the
stinging nettle
bushes.
And also, it's hard to tell where there is actually water versus land because it's eroded away.
Yeah, so we're here though. We went past and we found, actually, I don't know if you can see it behind us right there. Yeah, see there's a bridge that's permanently open.
Yay! One less piece of work to do.
In the narrowboat world and canals, they set aside a little piece of the towpath before and after bridges and locks that you have to do, so solo boaters can park up and do everything and then push through. So we moored up at the very end of the Armco of the lock area. And actually, don't tell anyone. We're a lot further than the person on the other side who basically made us crash into the bridge because they're so close to the bridge. But we're not going to complain. But we ended up with this beautiful view. I mean, and there's nothing, no trains.
Although we slept through the trains yesterday, we were so tired.
So
and
yeah.
we're in shade.
Yes, and we're in shade because we don't have solar, so it doesn't matter. And then tomorrow we have a big adventure.
An adventure.
An adventure.
That's all we have time for today. Thank you for joining us as we experience narrowboating and the canal life for the very first time. Please leave any narrowboat tips in the comments below. We would love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Hard to believe, but our narrowboat adventure gets even better. We'll head off the canals to explore the English countryside and trace some interesting history.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it was a good idea you walking through this area with a bright pink.
And of course, we continue to push through our narrowboat learning curve.
Oh my gosh! My first bridge, baby!
There's the bridge. Wendy came, she saw, and she conquered that bridge.
If you've enjoyed this adventure, make sure to subscribe to our Love to Travel YouTube channel. If you want to make sure you don't miss any of our adventures, click the bell below. Your company has made this life-changing adventure even better, so thank you for joining us. Until next time, my friend, travel well and be safe.